Lotus Squad! Welcome back to Sage Lotus Tarot 888. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. So, we got a lot to cover today, you guys. Let's clear these energies, girl, because it has been chaotic with everything that's been coming out about the Epstein files, everything with the economy, everything with just our own personal lives, with these corporations. There's so many things that are crumbling before our very eyes. And I was drawn to come and do this reading because, first of all, today is February 22nd. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have this reading posted on the 22nd, but this is the date when I recorded this reading. And so, of course, I love to talk about my angel numbers. So, 222 is all about making decisions. Decisions. Am I right? And it seems like a lot of us are going to have to make some major life decisions, especially for this new year. Now, before I get into the details and get into the meat and potatoes, I do want to let you guys know that I am still doing private readings. So if you guys would like to book a reading with me, you can look in the description box below. I have all my contact information and website listed below. And I also wanted to say I wanted to do something new on this channel as well. So I will be planning a free 3-card reading. I do believe that I'll be able to do that live sometime in March. And in the meantime, I am going to be looking for engagement. So guys, be sure to like, share, and drop a comment below. And make sure you're subscribed. And I'll be pulling somebody's name for a $50 cash giveaway. So yeah, I decided, especially in this economy, I thought it'd be something fun to do for this channel. So yeah, I think every month we might be doing a $50 giveaway. We'll see how this one goes. Now, moving on, you guys. There were some downloads that I received recently, and they have been loud and strong, okay? The first message was, know your worth. As cliche as that sounds, you need to know your worth. You need to know, your standards and stand on that. Have your boundaries and stand on that, especially when you're presented with any sort of opportunity. You want to make sure that you're well equipped and emotionally stable, mentally stable as well, balanced, and all of the above to be able to make the right decisions. Because the other message that I got through my download was somebody's trying to spin the block. Now, this year, I feel like good things are in on its way to a lot of us. If you've been planting those seeds and if you've been, getting closer to God, for those of you that are spiritual, you don't necessarily have to be religious to know who God is. If you're building that relationship, you're taking care of your physical health, mental, emotional well-being, and maintaining your peace, then that is going to be the theme for this year. And when somebody is trying to spin the block, the download that I got in reference to that is they have not changed. Okay. Now, in some cases, people can change. People can grow into, a better version of themselves with years apart, all of that. But I keep getting this sense that, whoever you may have blocked on your social media a long time ago or whoever you left behind, those people are still watching you, believe it or not. You'd be shocked if you knew how many people and who was watching you still. So I feel like knowing your worth and knowing that they're going to try and spin the block will help you to be able to navigate this year, because I feel like good things are coming in our lives right now. Good fortune, good luck. I mean, lately I've been seeing 888 back to back to back. So whether I'm playing my video game or, I'm looking at phone numbers or, whatever the case is, tracking numbers for my packages that come in, just random stuff like that, or like the total amount for my, my bill for Uber Eats or whatever the case is, I see 888 a lot. And so, that means that there's infinite possibilities that are awaiting us. There are infinite amounts of opportunities that we will be presented with. And so we need to know our worth, and we need to know that they have not changed when somebody does, in fact, spin the block. Okay. Now, the other download that I got is spring cleaning. We definitely need to focus on spring cleaning every area of our life. So whether that's friendships, relationships in general, career even, whatever area of life that's felt stagnant, that's felt, like you just keep hitting a brick wall, or that you feel like you're overworked and underpaid, or you feel like you're just tired of, the same old, I feel like spring cleaning would do you well. And, I know it's been a while since I came and did a video, but I don't want anybody to get dependent on these readings. I don't want to do readings over and over and over to the point to where, we're either saying the same thing, or, it just makes people grow dependent on them. I want you to be able to have that space and that time for your own introspection and for your own utilization of your intuition. Now, with all of that said, I don't want to waste your time because I know I'm the queen of the longest intros known to man, but today I feel like we really need to get to the point and get straight through it. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and cut the deck. We're going to look into what's for the collective. Now, the first card that we see, we got the Ten of Swords. So I feel like a lot of us have already come out of a time of betrayal. So, the years past, even last year, as recent as last year, I feel like a lot of us have either been purging, those that have betrayed us, or we have dealt with betrayal over the years. Hell, this could even be over a 10-year span of betrayal. I also feel like there could be somebody in particular in your life who could have, a male with long dark hair, you see him here, or a male with short blonde hair. Pay attention to that, because for those of you that do experience somebody trying to spin the block, you need to, pay attention to the signs, because they may come to you through dreams. They may come to you through, your friends, or through a ghost page, or whatever the case may be. You may run into them, in passing, things like that. But whoever this is for, okay, apply it to your situation. Whoever comes to mind, trust and believe, that's who I'm talking about. So while you're coming out of this, you're purging all of the pain, all of the hurtful things that have been said and done to you over the years. I feel like you're focused on building. You're working towards building a firm foundation for yourself. Some of you may have started an apprenticeship. Some of you guys may be going back to school. Some of you guys may be considering just building your own business, because maybe you're figuring, I'm tired of working for somebody else's vision. I feel like I'm overworked, underpaid, undervalued, and so I want something that will pay me accurately for my worth, for my skills, for my time, and so on and so forth. I also feel like there's an Aries here. You guys could be dealing with an Aries specifically, or, somebody that is, very much so blocked off in some way. This is the type of person that will abuse their position. So let's say if this is in a workplace setting, this is a boss that will abuse their power. They'll throw their employees under the bus just to make themselves look good. They're the type that definitely feed into the favoritism. They definitely love to create division amongst their teams. They don't care about, whether you're sick or whether you're, dealing with family issues. Either you're going to be there or you're not. And if you're not, you're cut. You're on the chopping block. That's the type of person I see here. I also feel like if it is a person that has Aries in their chart, or is an Aries male for some of you, then this could be somebody that is just all about the self. They're focused on their needs and their needs alone. They're not willing to be receptive to anybody else's perceptions. They're not willing to be receptive to anybody's feelings on whatever it is that they want. So they'll say and do whatever it is that they feel like they need to get what it is that they want. Whether it's getting what they want out of you specifically, or just getting what they want in general. They don't care who they step on as they're making their way to the top. This person also has an issue with putting their pride to the side. So if they, got caught up in something, or if they made a mistake, or, if something happens to where they need to take responsibility and hold themselves accountable, this is not the person that'll do it. Let me just break it down like that. This could also be somebody's father. Quite specifically, this could be somebody's father who's like this. They're all about the ego, how they appear to other people. They are arrogant, so they think they know everything. They think that they have you pegged. They think that they know their place in your life, and they think that they know what's best for you better than you do. That's the type of energy that I see here. I feel like you guys are turning that down. And before we start really hitting home with some of these messages here, let me go ahead and lay the spread out. Because with all this chaos that's been going on around us, I mean, take a look. In the recent past, we even have the tower reversed. I mean, we're coming out of a time of chaotic, destructive, self sabotaging sorts of energy. If you were even dealing with people who sabotaged you or tried to sabotage you, you're coming out on top. You're avoiding the destruction and the chaos. And I think some part of some of you, it may not apply to everybody, but just apply it to your situation. I feel like some of us may have some fears circulating around some of these changes. Now, I also heard another message that came through my downloads before we start getting into, the true scope of the reading itself. I also heard that new beginnings, all things new, people, places, and things, new people, places, and things are going to be the core behind um, where you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years, or it'll be the make or break decision, you know that will help you progress in life. If you're bringing in old energy, it's just going to be that revolving door of the same cycle over and over and over. And so that's why I feel like that download came through loud and clear, is all things new. So for example, I did something new with my hair. I decided to get me some bangs, something like that. Like, I was a little nervous about doing it, but I decided to cut my own bangs. It ain't perfect, but honestly, I like it. And as the saying goes, if you like it, I love it, and I love it. So I feel like tapping into that sense of self love, self respect, you know, um, will definitely help you to keep your center this year. Now I laid all the cards out, so let's really get into what's going on here, because like I said, there may be some fear circulating around something that you either decided to blow up. So for example, if there were some bridges that you decided to burn in the past, or bridges that were burned with you, you're now coming out of the wreckage of all of that. I also feel like if there has been some chaotic energy around you, by you removing yourself, you have released yourself from that. But some of you may still be having some lingering fears around whether you made the right decision or not. And trust and believe you did, especially if you have been listening to your intuition and allowing God to lead you in this journey. Now, in the present position, we've got this Knave of Cups reversed. Okay, some of you guys could know a female, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio female, or a female with those signs in her chart. For some of you, it could be a Scorpio specifically, because that energy is very strong. This could be somebody that's younger than you, or somebody that you know. I feel like, and this could even be, what you decided to do. There could have been a love offer on the table here. Maybe somebody did spin the block, so to speak. And I've seen this time and time again. When you start leveling up and glowing up and doing better for yourself, that's when all of the toxic people of your past start to flow in, and it starts to become overwhelming because you've got all of these emotions attached to them. You've got all this history. And so I think right now in the present, you're embodying this energy where you're not expressing how you feel, or it's somebody that that's not expressing how they really feel. I also feel like you guys could have decided to turn down somebody's offer here. So somebody said, hey, I'm feeling you. You're not really dealing with all of that right now. You're still working on your healing, your self-development, and that's good enough for you. And that's fine. I also feel like there's somebody who's still very much so immature. They're emotionally immature, and they refuse to do the inner work and the work in general to mature, to heal themselves, to work through any, unresolved past traumas, things like that. Now, what you're challenged by, we've got the strength. Okay, so while in a sense you have been strong, you've been pushing forward, I still feel like there may be some insecurities surrounding, maybe you coming out of a time of betrayal. So let's say if you dealt with somebody that cheated on you or lied to you, lied on you, did some fucked up shit to make you lose something in life, so make you lose your place to stay, or make you lose your job, or anything like that. I feel like there's definitely an energy where you might be feeding into the self-doubt, feeding into that little voice in your head that's saying, oh, that's not going to be good enough, or you're not pretty enough, or you're not thin enough, or, things like that. I feel like there could have been some people around you that you finally walked away from that was feeding the flames of that insecure type of energy. I also feel like maybe you felt like other people were taking their insecurities out on you because somebody may have tried to force a connection or they were being forceful with you. So let's say you set a boundary and you said, no, I don't want to do this, or no, I'm not comfortable with this. The strength in the challenge position tells me that, there's somebody that's trying to force their point, force their will or their way on you. I also feel like there's somebody here that is trying to use brute force to make you bend to what it is that they're asking of you, or somebody that's trying to make you feel less than so you don't feel like you can get anything or anyone better out of life. This could even go back to like when I mentioned that it could be somebody's father specifically or quite literally that could be feeding the flames of these insecurities, always making you feel like you're never good enough, always making you feel like what you do and what you bring to the table has no value. They never have anything positive to say or anything constructive or supportive to say. That's what I'm also saying here. And I feel like, in a sense, even though somebody's dishonesty has come to light, I know that with this energy that you're looking forward to, you're transforming whatever ended, whatever came to a close, whatever door closed, you are transforming that old, and it's creating new opportunities for yourself. So let's say you walked away from an opportunity or perceived that you lost an opportunity that you thought was really good. That's going to be a blessing in disguise for the majority of you, especially when it comes to, if there's any insecurity surrounding family dynamics. Maybe there's just a father figure in your life or somebody that you even have kids with, apply it to your situation, who just makes you feel less than or goes out of their way to make you feel less than, make you feel like you don't know anything, mansplaining, making you feel like you don't have any value, even though you've been doing any and everything to appease this person or to please this person, you know? I definitely feel like there are a lot of people reminiscing you. And this is where that energy from earlier comes in, where somebody's trying to spin the block. Somebody is definitely reminiscing you. Somebody is definitely thinking about the good times that they had with you. And some of you guys could even be going back all the way to your childhood. There could be some things coming to mind where you're reminded of something back when you were a child, or maybe you're starting to tap back into that energy before all of the trauma, before all of the pain. You're starting to heal your inner child. You're starting to focus on the things that, made you happy, even back then, whether it's making music or coloring, drawing, singing, dancing, whatever the case is. I feel like you're going back to the beginning before all of the hurt, the betrayal and pain. And through this transformative energy, I feel like all of the things that you perceived yourself to have lost over the years, maybe you felt like you lost some really close friends or lost some people that you felt like knew you the best and will only know you better than anybody else ever will. I feel like those things that have come to an end, or those people that you decided to turn down, or even to those that you may have blocked from previous years up to the present, I feel like you made the right decision. Don't doubt yourself in that decision because, at the end of the day, you know what's best for you more than anybody else does. And you know what you went through more than anybody on the outside looking in does. And so it's important. And this is the three key messages that came through is know your worth. And I feel like you do, because you did decide to put a stop to something. You felt like somebody was still immature, that they're still taking their insecurities out on you. They still have jealous tendencies. This could be a male, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, male for some of you, even, where this person is, they will tell you they know just what to say to make you drop your panties. Straight like that. They know exactly what to say to flatter you, excessive forms of flattery, excessive gifts, doting on you. I feel like this is a love bomber. This is somebody that is a cheater. Once a cheater, always a cheater is what I'm hearing. I'm also hearing that this person is jealous of the attention that you give your dog or that you give your cat. They're jealous of the attention that you give your friends and your family. They're jealous of you. They're jealous of you and what you're able to do, your capabilities, your gifts, where you're going in life. Hell, they could even be jealous of the fact that you're working and they're not. They could be jealous of the way people react to you and how they gravitate to you. But whoever this person knows that everything that they're saying all this because they think that it's something you want to hear. And I feel like you guys are turning this down. That's why you're not expressing how you feel. Because you know that this person, you know their patterns, right? Especially to those of you that are dealing with someone from the past where you guys were together for years or you knew each other for years even. I feel like you know how this person is and you're no longer allowing their lies and their flattery to sway your decision making or sway, how you move. You're not letting them distract you. Somebody is very much so jealous of you. I feel like, and I keep hearing this as well. I keep hearing this saying where if nobody can have you, excuse me. I keep hearing that if I can't have you, nobody can type of energy. This is the type of energy where some of you ladies out there, and this is not to go against the men, but men could be dealing with other men that are very jealous of them. They may be jealous of their homeboy getting all the attention of all the girls, maybe of the girls that they like. They're giving all the attention to their homeboy. It could be that for that scenario for the men out there. And for the women specifically, I feel like you might be dealing with somebody that is able to charm the panties off of everybody else except you. I feel like you caught somebody in a lie and you accepted what you saw when you saw it the first time. You didn't, try to reason with what it was that you were picking up on. You weren't trying to, make excuses for this person. You just saw, nope, they're still lying, or nope, they still have these jealous tendencies, or nope, they're still throwing their insecurities at me, or nope, this person is not being 100%. Oh, nope, I know this person has cheated in the past and now they're coming back saying I'm sorry and I love you and you're the one for me. But then I think a lot of us are like, well, where were you you know, when we were together? Where was all this when we were together? What took you so long, or why now? I feel like this is the type of person that'll say anything to get in your pants as well. So if it's not somebody from the past and it's somebody new, I feel like you guys have gone through so many different, you know, types of betrayal where you're able to spot from a mile away when somebody's lying to you, when somebody's running game on you. And the advice here is if there are any imbalanced relationships here, drop them. Drop them like a hot potato, girl, because the only thing that they're going to do is drag you down. The other piece of advice that I have for you guys is find ways to get organized again. Regain your sense of balance. Pay attention to how much money is coming in and going out every month. Focus on budgeting. Focus on, not only managing your time, but managing your finances better. Don't let indecision get in the way of you making the right decision that you know you need to make. Because you know that there's somebody here that is dishonest and has been dishonest for a very long time. And this could be the type of person that's spinning the block. Somebody is very much so frustrated because they may have offered, made an offer to you. Maybe they were wanting to be friends with benefits, or maybe they were driven by lust. And maybe a lot of you picked up on the fact that they were driven by lust. And you want more out of life and out of love and all of the above. Somebody's very much so frustrated because you definitely turned somebody down. You said, you know what? No, I know your intentions. Your intentions are not to love me because, you got all these one-liners and, dropping dimes and all this other shit. But, when it comes time to follow through on these things that you're saying, all these flattering things that you're saying, you're not coming through. You're not doing what it is that you said that you would. Your communication is inconsistent. You yourself are inconsistent. That's what I feel like I'm hearing some of you guys say to somebody here. Or you may not even be saying that. You're just clocking it and decide, no, I don't want to deal with that. Been there, done that. I'm not going to waste my own time anymore. There could be somebody with blue or green eyes that's in tears, y'all. Somebody is in deep regret because they know why you walked away. They have a lot of regrets about the way that they handled you. Because, like I said, moving into this new year, you're transforming. You're in a stage where you're rising from the ashes. So, all that betrayal, all the hurtful things that were said and done, the things that were done behind your back, the smear campaigns, all of the abuse, the trauma, you've risen above all of that. And you become a better person because of it. And you also know without a shadow of a doubt who has earned your trust, who deserves your trust, who has earned you, and who deserves you, and who doesn't. You're calling a spade no matter how much it may hurt. And it is what it is, because the outcome, I'm telling you, the outcome is all's well that ends well, right? All's well that ends well, because you've got the Queen of Cups here. Like I said, you're following your intuition, and we got the World. A lot of water in this energy. We got fire and water as the prominent energies here. The outcome is you are emotionally balanced. You're at peace. You're making peace with your life. I feel like you're able to give and receive love now, even after all of the heartache, even after all the cheating and the lies. You're able to see your worth clearly. No one is able to shake your confidence. Look at her. I mean, she's like, come and get it, baby. You want it, then show me. And don't be trying to come at me with no lies, boo, because I'm the Queen of Cups. Intuition all the way 1,000 on point. 1,000% on point. Intuition is 1,000% on point. So I'm not going to play these games. You thinking that you could sweet talk me and all that? No, 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 no. I may be open to receiving, but we're not going to be receiving none of that garbage. Because the lies and the bullshit that I had dealt with in the past, girl, it's going to remain in the garbaggio, girl. It's going to remain straight up in that garbaggio. And with this World card, I feel like somebody's trying to make you turn around and look at them. Somebody's trying to make you turn around and come back to them. I feel like with this World card as well, you are going to be so successful in ways that you've never even seen before, because you removed the dead weight. You're letting God guide you. You're letting your intuition guide you. You're no longer ignoring your gut feelings. You're no longer ignoring red flags. If somebody is not on a maturity level that you are on, and if they are not on the path that you are on in life, you know you are what you eat and you are who you hang around. And if you continue to hang around some of these people that are dragging you down, then, they can have the potential to disrupt this. But from what I'm seeing, baby, you see if there's any imbalanced relationships, if you're doing more of the giving and somebody's doing more of the taking, I feel like you're just fine holding your cup until you find the right one to give it to. You're traveling. You're going to see the world. You're seeing success in your career. You're seeing success in your life. You're seeing yourself develop in ways where not only are you becoming a better man or a better woman, but you're becoming a better citizen, a better person, a better friend, a better you. And I want to even take it a step further real quick. I know I said I wasn't going to waste y'all time today, but let's look a little bit deeper because it has been a little while. I won't drag it out too much, but let's see what's going on, because somebody is definitely like they're holding back. They've been holding back, and they know that they're not telling you everything. That's what I keep getting. I feel like you may have had some fear circulating around that decision because maybe some of you are holding out hope of this person, changing, or, whatever the case is. But I feel like you guys are standing on business. Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that goes for family too. It doesn't just necessarily have to deal with romantic relationships. It could be, family connections as well. You're starting to finally put your foot down with those people and be like, you know what? No. No, and I'm not going to keep explaining how I feel if you're going to consistently dismiss what it is that I have to say, or if you're going to pretend like what I'm saying is, you don't know why I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't, y'all are done with that. And you're enjoying your own company. I mean, look, we may have people here that, maybe offering us, their cup, or maybe they're next to us or with us. We've come across people that have shown us the first time that they value us and that they love us. And that's really what created this paradigm shift. Because you see, okay, if these people can treat me right the first time around, I don't need to keep beating a dead horse and giving chance after chance after chance to somebody that blew all of the excessive chances that were given in the past when they really didn't even deserve those chances to begin with. I feel like you guys are really starting to not only hold yourselves accountable, but hold other people accountable. And no matter how much you love them, you're making the decision to say, you know what? I love myself more. This is not going to change. And that's what we touched on earlier. They're not going to change. And you've accepted that. When you start seeing some of the same behaviors that you saw before, but they're saying different words like, oh, I'm better. Oh, I finally see the error of my ways and all this such. You guys are finally aware of what it looks like to truly be loved, and what it looks like to see somebody that is maturing and healing and putting in that work to become a better person. They're not out here making excuses. They're not out here blaming everybody else and playing the victim. And you're aware of that. Somebody is thinking about y'all. Some of you guys, there is a lot of water in this energy, for real. A lot of emotions running wild. Some of you guys could be dealing with, conflicting emotions. Maybe there's like love, but then there's like apprehension, and then there's doubt, and then there's fear, and then it's too much. Because somebody is actively trying, maybe somebody was trying to make you jealous. For some of you ladies out there, maybe there was a guy that's spinning the block now, or will spin the block. Watch. I promise you, I'm going to be seeing it. I already know. They're going to be spinning the block if they haven't already, because their situation did not work out. Or because they finally realized all that ripping and running that they were doing out here in these streets wasn't worth it, because they could never find anybody that loved them the way that you did. They didn't find anybody that would, take care of them the way that you did. And you liberated yourself with the sun. So far, the signs that I see are Leo as major players, Scorpio as a major player, Aquarius, Taurus, and then we have Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. To the women out there, this could be between your 20s, maybe 30s, early 40s. I feel like this is the energy that you're embodying. Some of you guys that are water signs or have water in your chart, your sun, moon, or rising, or even your Venus sign, okay? Apply it to your situation. You guys are embodying this energy where you are emotionally balanced. You know what you want out of love and life. You know what you want, and what you have to do to go out and get it and achieve what it is you set out to achieve. You know what a healed man or a healed woman looks like. You know what it looks like when somebody is truly there for you without strings, or without expectation, without expecting anything in return. And you also know what it looks like when somebody is not on that type of time. If they're just all about, let me just say I love you, or let me just say, what I think they want to hear so I can fuck and then be gone the next day. But let's wrap this up, you guys. Show me the Tower reversed. Oh, this is crazy. Yep. I feel like you guys decided not to reunite. So for those of you dealing with somebody spinning the block, I'm so proud of you, girl or guy. I'm proud of you, bitch, because Two of Cups reversed, I feel like you saw the imbalances. You said, here we go again. I'm doing most of the initiating of conversations. I'm initiating, or I'm making more of the effort to make plans. I'm making more of the effort just in general in my own life, such as, trying to get my body right, trying to eat healthier, trying to, you know, progress in my career, learn, go back to school, whatever the case is, start my own business. And this person is still doing the same thing that they've been doing since you've known them. And I feel like you guys made a decision not to reunite, and that's why you avoided a disaster. Somebody was trying to spin the block so they could finish the job. Now, if this is family related, they may need something. They need help. They need something, you know. And after everything that they did to you, they're expecting you to still sit there and be on call like you used to be. I don't see that in this energy. I feel like you are embodying confidence. You're friendly. You're dressing well. You're taking care of your hair. You got people behind you that really have your back when your back is turned and when it's not turned. I even feel like some of you guys could be into making clothing. Like maybe you like designing clothes. Maybe you're into fashion. Maybe you got a style of your own. Because I mean, look at this dress. This is not something that you'll see every day. And that is super cute, girl. It's like, okay, get it, bitch. Okay, girl. What? Girl. She out here spicing it up for real. And it's so funny because I wanted to touch on the whole sunflower thing. I feel like you guys need to start going to moving bodies of water for those of you with water in your chart, and for even those women out there that have fire in their chart, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. You guys are in the upright. I feel like you guys are taking the steps to, lead again. You're starting to take the lead in general. And you're finding like-minded individuals who you can collaborate with, who you could learn from, who you could grow with. And I feel like energetically, a lot of these people see that, know that. They could be looking at your social media and be like, damn, they got hot. Damn, when I was with them, they weren't dressing and looking like that. Damn, I'm hearing this for some reason. Somebody can know a man that just only cares about big titties or a big ass, and they went around chasing that just to find out that they would never get a quality woman looking for those things when they had one in the past and did her wrong as well. They're not going to get what it is that they're seeking when they're trying to indulge the flesh. I feel like to the ladies out there, some of you guys could be finding, female friends out here. I do see somebody with blue hair. I see a woman with long brown hair, long purple hair, you know, and even long dark hair. I even see somebody, if you're dealing with the males specifically, it could be a male, who has jealous tendencies, who's bald. He doesn't necessarily have to be bald, but he could be bald. Or he could have salt and pepper hair for some of you. There's definitely a very specific message for the collective, but I bet you every last person that comes across this reading, there's going to be something in here for you specifically. I know it's not specific signs, y'all. And, I've been trying to figure out a way to do that and do my best to do that. But, girl, working full time, and sometimes I need me time. I can't be going hard in the paint over these readings because really the goal is not to get all the views that I possibly can. Yes, of course, I'd like to get these messages out there. But my focus is I also have to be, taking care of myself in every sense of the word so I can help others. I have to help myself before helping others. I can't be out here stretching myself thin trying to be everything to everybody and I'm not even taking care of myself. But I'm going to tell you what, keep investing in yourself the way that you have been. People see you as a very confident, vibrant, beautiful, unique person. And whoever this is, maybe somebody had an outburst. Maybe somebody is upset about something and they may have an outburst, you know. Maybe because somebody had an outburst, you're like, you know what? No, I'm not dealing with this anymore. No, do not communicate with me. You're blocked. Show me this Princess of Cups reversed. I swore I was trying to make this reading short, y'all. I'm so sorry, but you know what? I'm going to say the messages as they come out, girl. The High Priestess reversed. See, some of you guys could be dealing with a Pisces sun sign specifically, or it could be moon or whatever. But I do feel like there's somebody here that had a hidden agenda and you picked up on it. And that's why you said no to them. That's why you turned down their offer. And somebody is very much so angry about this. Could be an air sign specifically. A male here with long dark hair. Could be somebody with air in their chart. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I remember Aquarius was a major player. So for some of you, it could be specifically an Aquarius. But whoever this person is, they are all over the place. They don't know if they're coming or going. They got all these thoughts in their head. They're not able to control their thoughts. They're not able to control their mouth. They're out here running, their mouth at 1,000,000 miles a minute. They're talking all this shit and they just do it off a whim. So like any little thing will set them off. And once they're set off, they're you can't stop them type shit. This is somebody who's violent. This could be somebody who could be into computers. They're trying to hack and get information, trying to steal credit cards, trying to steal your information, trying to, steal social security numbers, I'm even hearing. But there's definitely somebody here that's a ticking time bomb. They're reckless. They're living their life reckless. And I feel like a lot of us have decided, this person's coming back. They're trying to butter me up. What do they want? Or you could be dealing with somebody who has a track record of having anger issues. They don't have any self-control. And you don't want to put yourself in a position where now you're at the mercy of this type of person. All because of, your feelings for them. Show me the strength and the challenge. You guys are definitely making some major decisions, and you made the right decision. If you chose to leave these people alone, you made the right choice. But be careful, because if you choose to give them a chance, just pay attention. I see this Queen of Pentacles upright. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn woman. See, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles all came out upright. Keep doing what you're doing. See, I feel like a lot of y'all, you're focused on tending to your own garden. You're focused on, breaking generational curses. Everything that you touch turns to gold. You are abundant. People see that you're very grounded in your approach to life. They see that whatever it is that you put your hands on, you're able to make your money make money on top of that. You know how to make your money make more money for you. You know how to find multiple streams of income. Some of you guys may be finding peace in quite literally gardening, going back out in nature, going out in the sun, taking nature walks, working closely with the trees. Some of you guys could be doing yoga outside. Maybe that's your decompression time. A lot of y'all are focused on work, and I heard that. But there could be a situation where, some of you guys need to be careful with overworking yourself, because I'm hearing burnout, potential burnout. And that goes back to what I mentioned earlier about trying to be everything to everybody and feeling guilty for taking time to yourself. Don't feel guilty for that, as long as you have balance. It's not getting into the, aggressively selfish territory where you only thinking about yourself. Then that's a separate thing. That's to the extreme. We don't want to go to the extreme, right? But I feel like you felt imbalanced around certain people. You were doing too much, or you knew somebody else who was doing too much. Like I said, Empress. I mean, ladies, to y'all that have been healing and working on yourselves, I am so proud of y'all. To the men out there that have been working and healing on themselves, I am so proud of y'all. To the women I've been seeing come up in this reading, especially, girl, you got your own style. You're your own lane. You're a trendsetter. You're confident in who you are. You're confident and comfortable in your own skin. You don't have to be skinny or thick or whatever the case. Now, it's good to be healthy. Don't get me wrong. But if you guys got a little bit of weight and it's not that serious, but other people are trying to make it seem like you're ugly or like, something's wrong with you or whatever, that you shouldn't love yourself regardless, you should. Now, if there are other ways where you could be healthier, of course, look into that. Do your thing. But it's also your choice. But from what I'm seeing, I feel like you've been investing in yourself in ways that you never have before. And that's another catalyst behind that paradigm shift of accepting when somebody shows you who they are the first time. You're seeing the value and the importance of nature. You're seeing the value and importance of when you feel good or when you look good, you feel good. When you look good, smell good, you feel good. And girl, I heard that. So keep it up. Keep it up because I see abundance. Good fortune coming in. You're starting to see things manifest in the tangible realm. So whatever seeds you've planted, I mean, keep focused on that the way that you have been. I feel like some of these people are posing themselves to be more of a distraction than anything else. Show me the death card. Yep, some of you guys, y'all ended up blocking somebody. Maybe you were thinking about blocking somebody or you just outright blocked them. Somebody's trying to communicate with you, but they may have just realized that they're blocked. That's another aspect of that. Maybe you had some plans that made with somebody that you haven't seen in a while, but then you started seeing certain tendencies and, inconsistencies where you were like, you know what? I'm good on that. I'll go on my own. If I want to go here, I'll just go out here on my own instead of, worrying about them canceling last minute or worrying about them, ghosting me or whatever the case is. You ended up blocking somebody and you're focusing on your work. Slow and steady wins the race this year. Self-care, self-respect, self-worth, self-love, self-reflection, self-development, and slow and steady wins the race are all key themes to this year and the years to come. You guys are receiving opportunities, many different opportunities where you can create a firmer foundation for yourself. You won't have to worry about how much is going out and coming in, once you develop, your skills and develop your business and develop these ideas that maybe you've been sitting on for a long time. Maybe you guys are talking to financial advisors or learning more about investments or learning more about how these things work, learning more about how you can make your money work for you. You're also realizing that, again, you are what you eat and you are who you hang around. So you got to be careful. You got to make it an honest, educated, logical analysis of the people around you. And you have to accept, hey, if this person ain't on the same path as me, if they're not out here trying to better themselves, unfortunately, even though there may not have been a falling out, I got to let it go. Because all it's going to do is slow you down. And I see that y'all are recognizing that. And that's a good thing. That shows growth. Show me the Prince of Cups reversed. That shows growth. I see that Knight of Pentacles coming back out again, but I'm going to put this back in the deck. I want a more cohesive shuffle. Show me the Prince of Cups reversed. Yeah, you guys had to make a lot of decisions in your career, in your love life, and with family members. I see this fire sign, Knight of Wands reversed. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius is reversed. Whoever this person is clarifying the Prince of Cups reversed. So this is somebody, and remember we saw the Knight of Swords reversed. These men out here, I mean, they got issues. They got issues that not even their mother could fix. It's only them that can fix it. And they're going to have to do a lot of work. A lot of work. When I say an exorbitant amount of work, girl, They might as well go ahead and get them some popcorn, get them a blanket and a baba and do something, girl, because they got a long road ahead of them. If they so choose to put in the work, but it doesn't look like they are. They're telling you one thing, but they're doing another. I mean, look, this person is driven by lust. If they don't get their way with you, if they don't get to have sex with you, they're angry. They got a problem with it. They're picking fights. They're talking shit. Well, you ugly anyway. Well, that's why your ass fat anyway. Fat bitch, or, shit like that. I feel like that's the type of person, if they don't get their way, then they're going to call you everything in the book, every name in the book, besides a child of God. But here you are, you're building upon those roots that you've already set. And they see that. They see that you're doing that without them, successfully. You're doing better than before them. And they're jealous of that. They're angry. They're angry that other people get to experience you. They're sexually frustrated. They can't find anybody to sleep with. They could have been able to be in and out of your life for years until now. And now they're just, they don't know what the fuck, they're all over the place. I mean, it's just not making any sense. They screw in every Tom, Dick, Sally, Harry, Barb, Jane, and Sue that they could find. Be careful with some of these men, ladies, because you never know. They might be sleeping. Man, I'm hearing DL for some reason. Somebody's on a DL. And they out here trying to, pretend that they really like women or like they like men, but they like the same sex, which there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Girl, I'm bi. So no judgments here, girl. But it's one thing to, be of the LGBTQ. And then it's another thing to be lying to people that you're sexually active with. That could be dangerous. That's the type of energy I'm seeing. They won't disclose to you who they really sleeping with. They won't disclose to you who they really are. But they'll say everything in the book to get what they want from you. To get in them cheeks. Show me the Six of Cups. Somebody is a whole mess. They looking back like they wanted to come back. Somebody is really looking like wanting to come back. And now, like, you saw through their lies. And you may not have said anything about what you saw. You may not have even said anything. They might have just lied. And then instead of going back and forth with them like you usually do, you said, you know what? I already know it's going to be an argument. I already know they're going to lie about the lie. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Oh, I misspoke. Oh, you didn't even put yourself in that position. You said, you know what? Been there, done that. I'm going to focus on mastering myself. And you're manifesting all that it is that you desire, y'all. Show me the Six of Cups. I'm going to wrap this up. I promise you. But all of this needs to be said. This is why I don't do readings all the time, y'all, because when I do them, they are very much so deep. And that ain't to brag or nothing. I'm just saying. But continue to stand your ground against these people, because with the Seven of Wands, you will come out on top of the competition. Everybody that they were entertaining in the past, none of them compared to you. Absolutely none of them. Here we go with the Starman again. Whatever you set in motion, you making waves. And it's on a spiritual and energetic level as well, not just physical, not just material. Show me the Two of Pentacles reversed. Stand your ground, because a lot of people may be throwing their opinions at you or maybe saying a whole bunch of fucked up shit. But really, most of the stuff that you're hearing from people is because you either rejected them, rejected their advances, and they're upset about it. Or you decided, no, I'm not going to listen to your lies and listen to your sweet nothings, your empty words, and I'm just going to move accordingly. I don't have time to argue with you. Yep. A lot of these people are facing judgment. This is the year of judgment, for real. This is the year of judgment. The decisions that you make moving forward will make or break your path. And as long as you're organized, you're managing your time wisely, you're maintaining your balance, and paying attention to, more ways of how you can budget, things like that, focusing on just developing yourself. Having more, financial security for yourself, stability for yourself. Yeah, if there's a situation where, everybody's divided in a family situation, there are reasons behind that. There could be some people that are covering up for somebody's lies, and they know that. Hell, you could have dealt with somebody who was an ex of yours who had a family that enabled their lies, that allowed them to lie. They helped them with it. That's how deep, I'm saying. Whoever's spinning the block, that's how deep it goes with some of these people. But they're facing judgment. And whatever decision, you know the decision you need to make, that's in your best judgment. I don't even need to break it down like you're three, because you're not. I'm sure you got it, right? But if it's a family situation where you dealt with a loss in the family, or you took some losses financially over the years, you know, I just feel like, uh, if there was even a relationship that was built on shaky foundation, built on lies, things like that, that's going to remain a dud. It's going to remain a dud. If there have been some things that you had to spend money on, or maybe you were just spending on yourself, you got a little bit too, shop happy, if you anything like me, shopaholic. But, as long as you rein it in and just make sure that you're creating a safety net for yourself, you're fine. You know what I'm saying? But be wary of people that are seeing your successes, seeing you manifest abundance for yourself, that are looking to get in where they fit in, and they're going to use what the feelings that they think you still have for them at their disposal so they can get in. Be careful. Show me the Ace of Wands reversed. All right, so we've got the Nine of Swords reversed, the Three of Pentacles reversed, and the Hangman reversed. Somebody wanted to resume something with you, but I feel like there's going to be a situation where there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of anxiety. Somebody's not sleeping. Somebody's having a lot of nightmares. Somebody is riddled with anxiety because they don't know what's going on. All they can think about is you. I feel like somebody is haunted. Everywhere they go, they're reminded of you. Everything that they do, all the music that they listen to, somehow it reminds them of you. I feel like if this was a situation that involved a third party situation, or somebody that you were communicating with, I do feel like you're coming out of a time where you were feeling anxious in their presence, or you're coming out of a time where, you're feeling fearful and doubtful about how you should move. Maybe you're coming out of a time where, if you did deal with somebody that cheated on you, quite literally that did spin the block, you know, I feel like by you cutting off communication the way that you did, you know, somebody is frustrated with that. They're mad that you don't want to collaborate with them. You can see that y'all are not on the same page in a lot of different areas in life. And to the people that didn't celebrate you, to the people that called themselves friends and all that good stuff, you're coming to terms with that too, and cutting those people off as well. No more long drawn out discussions, just action. But let's wrap this up with these final cards here and clarify the World and the Queen of Cups. Show me the World. So I see the King of Swords here, and I see the Seven of Swords coming out. I feel like you guys snuck away from a situation. Maybe you were entertaining somebody at first, and you decided, you know what? I see the lies. I see the deception. Somebody could be getting caught on surveillance even, proving that they tried to steal something from you, or you found a message that revealed some lies, or whatever the case is, and you decided, you know what? I'm just going to slip away. I'm just going to silently dip up out of here for my sanity and maintaining my peace. Because you know that there's somebody that's sneaky. I feel like you completed a cycle with this sneaky individuals here. I mean, think about it, and whoever this is that you're speaking to, you will get direct communication from somebody that is, logical in their approach. This is somebody older though. So this could be a grandparent, or, some of you guys could be even receiving messages from your grandparents from the other side. I mean, it gets deep. Pay attention to that, because there may be a message in that. Hell, it makes me think of what my papa told me about one of my exes as well, a long time ago. A leopard does not change its spots. Ain't that the truth? and cutting ties the first time instead of trying to give them a second, third, fourth, fifth, 20,000th chance. You might as well just go ahead and accept what it is and move on. And that's what I feel like you guys are doing. And finally, show me the Queen of Cups. Intuitively, you knew the right time to dip. Some of you guys might have been living with somebody even and found a way to pack your shit and get out without them even suspecting anything. 9 of Pentacles, baby. Focus on yourself, you guys. Right now, focus on yourself. Now, there's no set amount of time, but for the next 9 months, I'm hearing. The next 9 months, you focus on yourself. Continue your journey of self-healing, self-development, self-care, all of that. And abundance is waiting for you. This isn't the outcome, baby. These people, you think these people don't see your success? They do. You think these people don't see how you're taking care of yourself? They do. Even if you block them, they got ghost pages. They see. Or if they know somebody, they could go through their page to see what you're doing. They could be going through their current partner's page to look at you. It goes that far type shit. But yeah, 9 of Pentacles, you are good on your own. And some of you guys are accepting that this is where you want to be right now because it's peaceful. Look at this. It's peaceful. Some of you guys are receiving downloads. Psychic downloads left and right. Finding different ways to make money. Finding different opportunities. Whatever opportunity falls in your lap, just choose wisely. Choose your battles wisely and choose your lover wisely and choose your career path wisely. Does this company value you? Does this person value you? Do they show up every time? Are they consistent? Are they on the same journey as you, or at least working towards bettering themselves in their life? Or are they taking from you? All I know is that in this season, for the next 9 months, lock in. Because, baby, let me tell you something. The future is bright, and they know it. And that's probably why they're trying to spin the block. But pay attention, because been there, done that. You know what to look for. Trust your intuition, because like I said, with this Queen of Cups, it's okay to be open to receiving, but I also feel like there's a sense of control with the way that she's sitting. Yeah, I'm open to hearing what you have to say, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to believe everything. I'm going to let my intuition guide me. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end, for those of you that have. And like I said, hey, if this reading resonated with you, drop it in the comments below. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, like I said, that information will be in the description box below. But until next time, you guys, stay up, stay locked in, stay focused, and stay blessed, not stressed. Peace and love.